Dyna Mondo.
Do the thing.
What thing?
The thing! I never had to tell
Vanity's ruler.
what thing.
All right, guys, Logan back again with 2 more DRYTRON duels here at YCS Las Vegas. We've got Justin and Tyler, and Justin just did very well in the regional flight. As you can see, he just won with our favorite strategy. And Tyler was playing almost the same exact list. They both were X1 after day 1 and performed quite well with it. So we're going to take a look. All right, let's dive into the list.
All right. So we'll do engine first here.
Sure.
So we played 1 Foolish. Because it's Foolish Burial, this gets you anything. This is like your extra
Any
copy
name.
Nova. It can dump anything. It can get you to Chaos Max, which we'll see later in the list. It's Foolish Burial. 2 Fafnir, 2 Nova for the DRYTRON spells. Drawing multiples of this sucks. And then this, if you have Nova, can get you to Medionis if they ash your Zeta.
Right.
Or it's a consistency card for Nova.
Yep.
3 Emergency.
Yep.
Rhoda, that's enough said. Prep. This card's ridiculous, especially once you get your engine online, because you just start adding back the ritual spell and just going infinite on it. For the name, so 3 Alpha.
Of course.
3 Zeta, of course, and then we went with 2 Gamma, 2 Delta.
Yep.
We're not playing Prosperity, so the knowing that the Delta was always live was actually really good.
Agreed.
We drew so many cards off of this. You can dig into your side deck with this.
You just end up with an obscene amount of cards in your hands.
Exactly. You can draw fairies. You can do all that stuff.
Cool.
Most of our going second cards are cards that would be live after a Delta draw too, so that card came in clutch a lot.
Yeah.
That's why we play with a whole of hand approach.
Yeah.
All right.
So then, kind of our 2 normal summons. We had 1 Diviner, 1 Choju.
Yep.
This was kind of the going second normal summon, or if you just didn't need to go for this.
Right.
We went for this most of the time just because getting both a ritual spell and a ritual monster is insane.
Right.
Tributes for perfection. Then you can add it back to hand and just have a live negate. And then kind of the 2 other ones, the 1 orange-white obligatory. Lancia was kind of a call for cash, is that in our combo we can search it, and then we have it as either as a bullet for our Herald or a just all-around good card.
Indeed. Lingering effect against cash. Very good.
Yeah, lingering effect against cash. I won so many games by just shotgunning this in their draw phase and they couldn't do anything.
Just, it does play into thrust, so sometimes I'm a little cautious about it, but yeah, I mean, you get rewarded because it also cuts off things like Prosperity, so
yeah.
Whatever you fear more.
3 Ben 10, absolutely.
Yep.
1 Natasha.
This is the game winner.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is the
Always
VIP
the
card.
go.
This is the best card in the deck right here. You just steal all your opponent's stuff. In my regional flight, my opponent nibbed me after I had like cleared through their cash board, and so I just passed turn to them with Lancia in hand and just the giant token on board. They Lancia'd, they couldn't clear the token, so he passed back to me and I just Natasha took his nib and that was game.
Very good. That always comes up. When that comes up, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Although I prefer not to get nipped in the first place.
The WinCon Chaos Max, we went with this combo because it doesn't lose to any of the things people are playing for cash.
Oh yeah.
Like once you actually get your combo through, we're usually ending on Perfection and Dyna Mondo, and that's it. So you resolve that combo. You have 1 monster on board. You can't get Lava Golemed.
Right.
They're locked out of monster effects, and I chose not to play around Lava Golem 1 game. And I got punished for it, so then every time after that it was just Herald, Chaos Max, that's it.
Exactly.
But yeah, and we'll get into a little bit of what we're doing with that later. This package,
Right.
It is what it is.
Found out no pre-preparation of rights. Did you miss it at all? Did you think it was not worth playing?
We valued the prep a little bit more just because it can get you the ritual spell back, which it's kind of like in the grind game. We valued that a little bit higher as a follow-up card versus the pre-prep to just dig this out. Plus, Choju does what pre-prep would do anyway.
Right.
And then once you activate pre-prep and resolve it, it's dead.
Right.
If I top deck prep, if my opponent somehow manages to break my board or something, and I top deck prep, I'm back in the game and I just win.
Right.
If I top deck pre-prep,
Not at all.
I'm crying. Got the Draconids and the Medionis.
So only 1 Medionis.
Only
Did you
1
ever
Medionis.
have it banished?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You did too, right?
Mine got banished 1 time.
So do you really think
That was
1 is enough?
We lost.
I think 1 has to be enough because 2 is 2, you're just gonna brick on it at 2.
Maybe yeah. Okay.
I think the odds of like a cash player, because cash banishes what, 8 cards?
7 to 8.
Yeah, 7, 8 cards in their opening line. If they hit this in those 8 cards, it is what it is. You probably weren't winning that game anyway. Because like you really just need go second cards to kind of break through that board if they full combo. Which we just have a really good engine apart from this card, so we can just Zeus, and then they don't really have follow-up because our Zeus has 4 materials.
All right, fair enough.
So we never really missed it. I did lose 1 game because it got banished, but like I said, I was losing that game anyway.
Fair enough.
And then so kind of go second cards, 3 Dark Rulers. This was the best thing in the main deck. Even into cash, you can turn off their board.
Turns off a Rise, but not the zone lock.
Yep. But it doesn't matter if I have 2 zones, I can make Zeus.
Right.
And it was just generally good against everything that wasn't Runic or Labyrinth.
Right.
2 triple tack.
That does break the cash board.
Re-raise the ceiling card. Hand rip, draw 2. Not playing Prosperity and knowing that this was always live was also really
nice.
good, because I always have all 3 effects at my disposal. 2 thrusts.
Yep.
Live against the cash board. Dig this out. Dig out. A lot of times I was digging out prep off of this actually.
Okay.
For just more follow up. And the 1 called by the grave.
Very nice.
You have to play that card.
All right, show me the extra.
All right, extra deck. Link Rebo, standard.
Yep.
IP. Phoenix. We were kind of respecting anti-spell fragrance a little bit by playing this card.
No. I think that was a mistake myself. I wish I was playing Phoenix.
Yeah, it was like, I think I made this once maybe.
I made it several times, and every time it was to pop a floodgate.
Yeah, I made this once all weekend, but like, just knowing that it was in there, I felt safe. 2 Dyna Mondo.
Yeah, for the main combo, you kind of need it if they are smart enough to hit it. Yeah,
you need this for the main combo, and then my second one came up a lot.
As a removal.
In a lot of games, you're setting up Dyna Mondo with IP, or rather, you're setting up an IP that you can go into a Dyna Mondo as an interruption on your opponent's turn.
Right.
And then there were a lot of times where like I couldn't quite find game after resolving the Chaos Max lock with this card.
Right.
And so I would just like
do it again.
Summon dudes, attack for damage, and then just link into this again and do it again in their draw phase.
Yeah.
And then Boral Sword, you need something to end games. And so we went with this because it can out basically anything that's not Avermax.
Right.
And if we got Avermax, hope we draw tactics.
If we got Avermax, I got Avermax once, and I had the talents, but then the dude outed it for me by nibbing.
There you go.
So it didn't matter. And then I took his nib with Natasha.
Right. And another way you can out the Avermax is if you're able to line up Orange Light in hand when swinging in with Boral Sword, or if you have Perfection on field, you can also out it that way. Because even though it can be targeted, you can still negate that effect, and yes, it will still shuffle on resolution, but that's one other way to deal with it.
That's absolutely right too. So that's it for Link Monsters. Xyz, we played this bird.
Fuko. Oh yeah.
If you get shifted, you can make this and live a turn.
If you get drolled, you can make that and live a turn.
Yo, I hope we don't get drolled.
I never got drolled.
I got drolled in a side event today.
Okay.
Really? Oh
Game
man.
1 and game 2.
That feels bad.
One of my opponents said he was playing droll, but I never saw it. My only complaint with this card is that you can't stack multiple materials under it like you can
With my beta,
Lyrilisk.
it'd be more convenient. Or with the Lyrilisk.
Yeah, because you have to detach to save it in battle,
Right.
and then you have to go into Downer Magician to go into the Zeus, and like this is unaffected, but Downer Magician's not. So.
Right. Exactly.
Two new beta.
Yep.
Downer.
Yep.
Beatrice. Standard. You have to play that card. Again, it's Foolish Burial on an extra deck monster. This card probably shouldn't be legal, but...
Dude, any cash players not going after that card is making a big mistake.
2 Zeus. You have to play 2 now because of cash.
And because it's so good.
Yeah, gentle with those starlights.
I overlaid my second one on top of my first one at one point. I don't know if you ever did that.
In round 2, I had a person change of heart my Beatrice, and then overlay an ulti Zeus on top of the Beatrice that he stole. Pass back turn to me, I Natasha back the ulti Zeus, and then I put my Starlight Zeus on.
Oh my god, I love it. The ultimate one-up. And then, yeah, the diviner targets.
The two standard cards, you have to play that.
All right, wrap it up with the sun.
Yeah, I thought about playing 2 of this, but just didn't think it was worth it because you don't
No,
really
it's definitely not
diviner
worth
that
it.
much anymore.
Indeed.
Side deck. We had the other 2 Lancia.
Too good against cash.
Too good against cash.
Shotgun that against cash.
I shotgunned this against a runic, or I went first against a runic deck, and I just hit this in his draw phase, and he passed me with nothing on his board.
Hilarious. I guess he didn't have anything chainable.
No. Either that or he forgot.
True.
3 Lava Golem, you don't need your normal summon. You can just solve all kinds of problems with this card.
Absolutely. I love Lava Golem.
Yeah, Lava Golem. Lava Golem is probably one of the best side deck cards. We had 2 Dark Hole. This was kind of out of respect for Ibli, and you can search it off a thrust.
This was a difference between yesterday in the main event and today in the side events. We were playing 1 copy of this yesterday, moved it up to 2 for the side events.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a change we made yesterday because of a card we valued a little bit more.
Cosmic.
3
yes.
Cosmic, you have to play this because you have to snipe the runic field spell, just general back row.
Labyrinth is a real strategy too.
Labyrinth
Respect it.
is a
Be
real
ready.
I played one in my regional flight.
Floodgates are real.
It was a little scary. 3 evenly matched. So this is where we were on 1 of this for the main event.
Yeah.
And we had Book of Eclipse in the side deck for the main event.
Okay.
And we actually took that out because it was we just never got a whole lot of value off of it.
It was constantly getting stopped by Ash, or it was, not contributing to a ton of value for our board, where we could thrust for something that was a normal spell trap instead, or we can have something that took care of the Ibli.
Yeah.
Which this also does, but it loses to Ash.
Yep.
That is totally fair, and I agree with the concerns of losing to Ash. But I'm going to agree to disagree. I think Eclipse is insane.
Oh,
That's my
I think
preference.
Eclipse is insane, but I definitely, especially going into kind of the side events, the one thing we said we wanted more of was stuff that was good against back row.
Fair.
Storm's not really that good because they
That's right.
play Lord. Storm's not that good against a lot of other matchups. Feather Duster's a one of, but this just kind of, again, it solves the problem.
Yeah. And I'd say, what I would love to say is why not both? But I understand. It's tight. It's hard to choose both.
It's tight. So we cut the Eclipse for 2 more evenly, and the second Dark Hole we were only on, like you said, we were only on 1. And then 2-dimensional barrier.
So why 2D barrier? Just because, because you only have 2 thrusts? Make it a 4 total?
Yeah. We have the thrust. So this was just kind of like, if we do get hand trapped post side deck, you can just thrust set this and...
We approached it the same way you kind of approach trap tricks with trap cards, where you play 2 copies of the Searcher, you play 2 copies of the card that you're trying to get, and then you have 4 copies across your deck.
Hey, fair enough, as long as it works. Gentlemen, any shout outs you want to give? Thank you so much for the list.
Do a quick shout out to Amazing Discoveries. That's our Tucson locals, and
Nice.
we got a big group of guys here, so shout outs to everybody that came from Tucson.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to all the Tucson boys, and that's all we got. LoganJYA sign off. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
心の隙間埋め